Good day and welcome to today's episode of Erongo Talk. I am Adolf Kaure and I'll be presenting today's episode from the COSDEF Arts and Crafts Center here in Swakopmund. So today's episode has a lineup that contains an interview with the Reiterverein's stable manager, Silvia Kleyenstüber, and I'll also be presenting to you the news, the weather, as well as the tides. So stay tuned, we'll be back right after this. And in today's news, and as usual, we bring you the COVID-19 update. And since yesterday morning, 28 new cases of COVID-19 have been discovered, and that is according to the Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Kalumbi Shangula. So the number of COVID-19 cases stood yesterday at 285, and since yesterday, 28 new cases ranging from people with the ages of 5 to 61 came to light. So one of the cases is from a quarantine facility in Okahanja, while the rest are from Walvis Bay residents. So the case found in Okahanja is said to have traveled from Walvis Bay to Okahanja, and all the cases are in stable condition while contact tracing is ongoing. So this means that there are now more than 200 COVID-19 cases, confirmed cases in the Erongo region, and this includes 224 active cases in Walvis Bay, with 4 active in Swakopmund, as well as 2 recoveries. So here's an insert from the governor of the Erongo region, Neville Andre, who speaks on mass testing.
In our fight against COVID-19, over the past few weeks, the Ministry of Health and Social Services undertook contact trace and testing people who came into contact with positive individuals. In conjunction with the contact tracing exercise, last week I announced the targeted active case testing exercise, which is aimed at targeting individuals who are at risk and on a daily basis coming to contact with a number of people. These are, for example, the tellers, cashiers, taxi drivers, open market vendors, and health personnel, and amongst many others. This targeted testing will enable us to identify hotspots as well as planning our future intervention, of course, with the private sectors that are coming on board. I must say that this exercise is going well in terms of finding out who are positive. Today we have had, yesterday was 52. And I should also mention that a detailed report will be made available soon once we have studied the exercise. However, said as it may be, we have witnessed an increased cases in Walvis Bay through this exercise. This situation requires us to plan more actively and how and where we are going to place the people for quarantine and isolation. We have so far acquired a number of quarantine facilities, but will still arrange for more facilities due to the increase of cases. We are also looking into availability of facilities in the region, such as Usakos, Swakopmund, Omaruru, and many other towns in our region. We therefore need more facilities and cooperation and support from the private sector that will be coming for surely with the assistance of the ECCI that we are seeing.
The governor of the Erongo region, Neville Andre, also officially handed over 13-bed care and quarantine facilities for the COVID-19 positive patients at the Walvis Bay State Hospital, and that was an event that took place yesterday. And at the time of the handing over, the facility in 3 refurbished garages was already fully occupied by the patients. So NAMDOC facilitated the conversion of the garages into a 13-bed facility at an estimate cost of over 700,000 Namibian dollars. So the governor hailed the completion of the project as a great initiative. And he was quoted as saying, "NAMDOC is playing an active role in our communities in terms of its corporate social responsibility projects, and NAMDOC has spent more than 1.1 million Namibian dollars on a number of projects through the ECC. And some of these include the installation of 36 oxygen points, as well as the conversion of a storeroom into toilets, and the repair and installation of an additional 36 oxygen points at the Swakopmund State Hospital, to mention a few. So the governor emphasized that COVID-19 is not only a government issue alone, and saying that we should all take part in fighting this pandemic, and we are in debt to everyone who has generously contributed to this occasion and to this cause, and those still continuing to do so. So here is footage of the occasion.
We are very grateful, Madam Iova, for this and your team, and surely it will be used to the intended purpose, for the intended purposes. And Doctor, please, these are the keys. Each room or each door has a key of itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And in more news, Orano Mining Namibia donated blankets to families affected by the recent shack fires that destroyed over 24 homes in Mondesa, that is in Swakopmund, on the 19th of June. So the families have started rebuilding their shacks from donated materials since the traumatic experience, while some are still living in a tent supplied by the Swakopmund municipality. The blankets are worth $5,000, were handed to the families at the site, which is a hive of activity due to the rebuilding process taking place to get the families safe and warm before the winter truly sets in. And in other news, one of the largest events on the calendar, that is a sporting calendar, the Hangana Hake Run and Ride, has also fallen victim due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So the event was slated to take place on the 3rd of October this year, and it has been postponed to the 2nd of October next year, according to the organizer of the Hangana Seafood. So this is the first time in the event's 37-year history that it has not taken place. So Hangana Seafood, which is an ONL subsidiary, said in a statement issued today that the recent rapid increase of COVID-19 cases in Walvis Bay has left the organizer no choice but to call off the event. So you can view this story and more stories on our website on www.erongo.com.na. So that was the news for today. Stay tuned.
Here with Gigi Mathias and Silvia Kleyenstüber of the Namibian Equestrian Foundation. Hi guys, how are you?
Thank you. Hi. Thank you for actually giving us a chance to talk.
Oh no, thank you for speaking with us. So, equestrian as a sport has been affected by the pandemic like most other things. Could you tell us a little bit about the effects it has had on the sport?
It has had effects in the fact that we had to postpone all our shows because of the restrictions, not just the travelling restrictions, but also the fact that all sport codes were put on hold. We are fortunate with equestrian that it's a non-contact sport, so that is allowed to open up again. The drawback is the amount of people that are allowed at an event, so we postponed all our events, cancelled them till August.
Yeah.
This is not just in Namibia, it's a worldwide effect.
Yeah.
The whole equestrian sport worldwide has shelved pretty much. And some nations starting in August again.
Yeah.
quite a few people.
So what events have been cancelled and what has been rescheduled? And
basically, if you look at our calendar, we usually have 1 to 2 shows a year. A month, sorry. A month,
No, that's
yes,
fine.
Thank you. And pretty much everything. The most important shows that we're hanging onto are our challenges, the dressage and jumping challenge,
Yeah.
and then also our championships. We have dressage, jumping, and eventing championships. And then on the endurance side, endurance rides have started up again now in June already, the first one, because they all go out to farms and they ride
Yes.
their distances. So it's a bit easier to manage that part of the sport than with the other disciplines.
yes. And then Silvia, the care of the horses, was that in any way affected by the pandemic?
Yes, because we had to basically shut down the stables to people coming from outside, and so nobody was allowed to come in. We only allowed the members to come in, but only on certain time slots. So unfortunately it has hit the club very hard because they weren't allowed to operate, giving riding lessons, all those things. The horses weren't properly worked, so one has to be careful that they don't get sick. The grooms had to also, they were mostly not allowed to work. So what we did is I had only a small group of grooms that actually living at the stable in order to care for the horses.
Yes.
Otherwise, this would have not been possible at all. And the other grooms were obviously not allowed to come to work.
Yes. And horses are quite sensitive animals, so do you think they are noticing that something is going on around them?
Oh, no, for them it was, I think, a lack of life actually, because they were just going out into paddocks the whole day, and they were not work on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So for them, I think it was more for us as caretakers to ensure that they don't get ill from standing and eating, because sometimes if they eat too much and they don't get enough work, they do get colic very easily.
Yes. And how long are you expecting the effects of the pandemic to loom on the sport?
For quite a while, because it's the financial impact alone. The sport as it is not a cheap sport, and we're looking at how it's affected our sponsors. A lot of our sponsors are also financially hit hard, and from that basis, the sponsorship alone is a big question mark. The federation is looking at how to alleviate the members' fees. We're going to do that all next year to just really get a boost start again for our riders to be able to afford it. But that's just from the federation. So we're looking at the whole restructuring of fees, etc., just to give everyone a gap for a year and then start hopefully 2022 again in a more positive way.
And the club still has all its members? Everybody's still doing okay?
Yeah, I think it's the federation at the moment it is, because the members obviously have already paid beginning of the year, that was before
COVID-19
the pandemic started. So, but for us as a club, the individual clubs, I think, are starting to feel it and struggle. A lot of the people can't afford to keep their horses anymore at a stable. That is quite expensive to keep a horse. So that is becoming a problem that we are facing now and will be facing for the long term. We've gone down from, I think we had about 50 horses, we've gone down to under 30.
Oh my goodness.
There will be probably, till the end of the year, I'm guessing there will be only less than 20 left.
Oh my goodness. So do you guys have anything to say to those who are still practicing the sport at this time? Any words of encouragement?
Yes. Thank you for making sure that the horse was kept fit. I think the horses probably enjoyed the rest, like Silvia said, they enjoyed the rest, but the whole program now to start up again, to get them fit again, to get the riders' mind fit again. So the message is to the riders, keep it up. We are going to obviously try from all sides to make it affordable for them to participate and keep going in the sport.
I now bring you the tides and the weather forecast in the Erongo region. Starting with the tides, and this is the tides for the coastal towns in the region. The tides are as follows. We have a low tide that is at 20, or we had a low tide at 20 past 7 in the morning, and we will have a high tide at about 20 minutes to 2 in the afternoon, and we will also have another low tide that is around about 7:30 in the evening, as well as another high tide at 1:30 in the morning tomorrow morning. So Walvis Bay's weather looks as follows. They'll have a sunrise at about 20 minutes past 7, with the sun setting at 6:30 in the afternoon. So this is basically the sunrise as well as the sunset for all the towns estimated in the region. So Walvis Bay's temperature for today is at 27 degrees Celsius, and they will have a northwesterly wind flow. And tomorrow they will have a minimum of 17 with a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. Swakopmund will have a southeasterly wind flow, so slightly east weather coming through here in Swakopmund with a maximum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow we can expect a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. Henties Bay will have as well a southeasterly wind flow with a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius, and tomorrow we can expect an 18 degrees Celsius minimum as well as a maximum of 27 degrees. Arandas also expecting slightly an easterly wind flow, this time coming from the northeast with a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius, very warm that side today, and tomorrow they can expect a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. Usakos will also have a northeasterly wind flow with a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius today, while tomorrow they can expect a minimum of 10 degrees and a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius. Karibib will also have a northeasterly wind flow with a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius today, and tomorrow, very similar to Usakos, will have a minimum of 10 degrees as well as a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. And finally, Omaruru will also have a northeasterly wind flow with a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. And tomorrow, you can expect a very cool 7 degrees for minimum and a maximum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius. So that was the tides and the weather. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Silvia Kleyenstüber, the chairman of the Namibian Genocide Association. Keep watching Erongo Talk.
And that unfortunately brings us to the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk, but we will catch you again tomorrow. But before we let you know what's happening in tomorrow's program, do make sure to like all our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, as well as on Facebook. And don't forget that we also have a website where you can catch all our news stories and more on www.erongo.com.na, as well as our WhatsApp number. We also have a WhatsApp number where you can leave your news tips and anything else that you desire. So tomorrow, My colleague Otis Daniels will be presenting the program, and we have a very interesting interview with a musician by the name of Saki. So you do not want to miss out on that one. So it was a pleasure having you in my company. It's out for me. Bye-bye.